studios, and joining me tonight on NDTV is Guneet Monga. So Guneet, I'm just the latest person to say congratulations, but has it sunk in yet? It's been 2 days now. Has it sunk in yet?
Definitely not. It's been back to back. It's been so many months of work. I actually can't wait to come back home.
What, in all the accolades, the congratulations that have poured in since this happened, what has actually moved you the most? When you were there holding up that Oscar along with Kartiki Gonsalves, what thoughts went through your mind, and what is the one reaction that has moved you the most?
Oh, when I was up there, my speech got cut off on stage, and my thought was, oh, I have to come back here to give my speech. That was my first thought. But I mean, the love we are getting globally is just amazing. The fan art, there are babies' videos who are mesmerized by Raghu and Amo and their gorgeousness. There are people from 90 years of age who are in love with Boman and Belly's love story. So I just think it's a hit. It's hit the note really well with people. So yeah, we are grateful.
And I think, Guneet, what really is so moving also, that is a story, even in India, it's really an inaccessible area. Bowman and Belly live in a world of their own, completely away from all the different tensions of life, in a sense, just focused on the simplicity of love that they share with Raghu and Ambu. When you spoke to people, international stars, international directors who saw this, what, as you said, struck a chord globally? You've talked of the babies, the elderly, but it's a film which actually, in a sense, is not lost in translation anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. I think it's there is a sacred bond in the film, and that kind of spiritually touched people. So there is, and here we had the opportunity to also screen the film in the screenings on big screen. It has a little bit of a quality of taking you into its world, into the mesmerizing world of Mudumalai jungles, the reserve there in Tamil Nadu. So it has definitely a transcending approach to it, the gorgeous landscape. So I would say that there is a spiritual bond that people find in it.
When this documentary first came to you, when the idea first came to you, in a sense, what was your reaction? Did you think that this is something that would really strike a chord, or did you think that, okay, I need a little bit of crazy to be producing this?
Not at all. I was in love with it from the day go, and I was so grateful that Kartiki reached out to me with the film. And Kartiki had already worked on it for a year, made a little reel, and that's what I appreciate so much about her, because here is a first-time director, and before she reached out to a producer or studio, she shot for whatever camera she had available and made a reel and came to us with saying, okay, this is the scope. Do you think we can produce it? And I mean, the baby elephants, the whole space, I had to say yes to it. And just meeting Kartiki and her purest passion, took it home. It was just, I knew it. This is something special.
And in fact, just looking, Guneet, because you have been, you've convinced, you've put your money where your mouth is, where your heart is really, in such a different range of films that just looking at your career, your bio as well, you seem to have now become, in a sense, a bridge between what so many different kinds of films. They're not traditional Indian cinema as a way, but I think the nice thing is that even at this Oscar ceremony, we had a movie like RRR, we had Elephant Whisperers, and we had Shaunak Sen's movie also, Everything That Breathes. So that, in a sense, is just a wonderful time to be a producer of Indian cinema.
Absolutely. I think coming from independent filmmaking for so long, producing for 15 years, I feel like now is the time, we can also spread our wings. And I think it's also the power of Netflix, because they gave us a huge global stage, which we are very grateful for. And it's like putting a hoarding on the moon, because it's around the world people are watching the film.
It's like putting a hoarding on the moon. And of course, Guneet, we talk at a time when there's always looking at reinventing Indian cinema, reinventing Bollywood, what works, what doesn't work. Independent cinema has always pushed the envelope. It's always, in a sense, been ignored slightly. It's harder to get funding. It's harder to get big stars. You've produced movies like Gangs of Wasipur, then of course Lunchbox, which are all recognized and have got wonderful actors in it. But it's always much harder. Is there, I shouldn't say the word formula, but do you think the fact that the multiplicity of the various talent that is going into Indian cinema, that this is the best time to actually be in cinema?
Absolutely. And also because of, I would say, digital platforms, that your borders have been, there are no borders for content now, I feel. Like we are consuming Korean content and the whole world is now consuming Indian content. It's become much more accessible. And really, I think this is the time to spread our wings.
And it was fantastic. Were you dancing as well when you heard Natu Natu playing at the Oscars? It was
absolutely. Natu Natu made the whole world dance. So much joy, so much pride.
I think all of us are sharing a little bit of that pride. And Guneet, I hear you have a tenuous NDTV connection as well, that you interned here many years ago. Thank God you didn't stay on because here you are now on the Oscar stage.
Yes, I did. And it was a big deal for me to intern because I come from mass communication college, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in Delhi. And it was the biggest deal for me to get my internship in NDTV. I was in awe of everyone, the office, the space, the culture. It's amazing.
No, well, we are all in awe today, and I say warm congratulations. And I read, Guneet, because I loved your speech where you said it's really about the power of two Indian women. And you've talked about how much your mother actually contributed to your journey and to how you made it from mass communications to where you are now. Would you like to say a little bit about that? Who inspires you? Who's your role model? And what would you tell young women watching you today?
Definitely my mother. I lost her very early. But I think she imbibed a lot of values in me. And both my parents actually made me very fearless. I'm their only child, come from a middle-class Delhi family. And the journey that I've had, I lost them when I was 22, 23, within the range of 6 months. And then, in Bombay, sharing space with lots of people, trying to be a producer, because I didn't come from wealth, but I came from ideas and a lot of faith in my abilities and myself. And that came to me from my parents. And I think just believing in yourself and doubling down on yourself is needed. And like I said, you can't wait for somebody's approval. Kartiki did not. She's been a natural history photographer who picked up a camera and made a trailer and reached out to a producer, and a studio. And the whole world came together. But don't wait for somebody's approval. Don't wait for a seat on the table. Just get out there and do it. Don't let anybody tell you won't be able to do it. You've never done this before, or you have, only made smaller films. How will you ever do this? This is so tough. This is another language. Just all these things are not needed. Get past it and get to work, and nothing speaks louder than your work.
I know, and I think that's really a lovely line to end this interview on, that I may not come from wealth, I come from ideas, and no one can take the wealth of that away from you. Guneet Monga, congratulations once again. We're all very proud at watching that wonderful documentary. Thank you so much.